These are the brand new lights from Nanlux, the Evoke 600C and the Evoke 150C. Now, Nanlux previously mostly focused on larger, high-end fixtures, and their smallest light so far was the 900C. So these two here kind of bridge a gap in the Nanlux lineup, making for a very complete wattage range from 150 watts all the way to 5,000 watts. But what's really new here isn't just the smaller form factor. These lights are also the first to feature Nanlux's brand new Nebula C8 Light Engine. Now before we dive in, I want you to note this video is sponsored by Nanlux, so it's not really a review, but more of like a nerdy look into what these lights can do. So this Nebula C8 Light Engine builds on the RGBLAC 6-color base, which we've seen in some other lights. So that's red, green, blue, lime, amber, and cyan. But now Nanlux adds deep red and indigo, making a total of 8 colors and giving a smoother and more complete spectral coverage. But what does that really mean in real life? Well, you get a massive color temperature range in CCT mode, from 1000 Kelvin all the way up to 20,000 Kelvin. And that's one of the widest ranges available on the market right now, with most lights only going down to about 1800 Kelvin. So that means you can create those extremely warm tones when you need them. But it also means better skin tones, something you'll definitely notice when you are lighting people on set. And these lights will also produce much richer saturation in its different hues. The 150C and the 600C also don't have UV emission, so that means unlike some other LED systems, they reduce unwanted color contamination and make the lights safer to work with. Alright, now let's have a look at what you get in the kit for each of these lights. The Evoke 150C comes in a compact and solid carrying case, and in there you'll find a power cable, a D-tap power cable, a 45-degree reflector, a quick release baby pin, and of course the light itself. The Evoke 600C obviously comes in a much larger trolley case, and that includes a power cable, a remote controller cable, a remote controller, a 25-degree reflector, and the light itself. So both of these are neatly organized kits with pretty much everything you need. Next, let's have a closer look at the design, the features, and the build quality of these two. The smaller one, the Evoke 150C, is impressively compact. This can work great when you need a light in a tighter spot. For a 150 watt fixture, it's really solid but still lightweight at around 2.1 kilograms. It's got a modern, kind of square boxy design, which looks great but also makes it very easy to stack or pack flat during transport. The Evoke 150C uses Nanlux's new FE mount. This is a similar proprietary mount like the one used on the Forza 60 and Forza 150, but this one has electronic connections and a locking mechanism. To attach a modifier, you just twist and click it in like with any other Bowens mount, and then you can tighten it with the lever. Now just to be clear, the modifier needs to be either Nanlight's FM or FE mount for it to fit. Anyway, it still means if you already own accessories for those Forza lights, they'll work perfectly on here too. Like for example, I have this projection attachment from my Forza 60 and it'll work fine on this new Evoke 150. Also, Nanlux is working for a bunch of new modifiers for this new FE mount to make full use of this new system. You can run the Evoke 150C entirely off of V-mount batteries using the included D-tap cable. And with this SmallRig 99 battery, I was able to hit about 80% brightness. There's a V-wedge plate on the yoke to mount your battery directly, which makes battery operation really clean and simple. Looking at the bigger brother, the Evoke 600C, it shares that same industrial look, but just a little bit bigger. It weighs about 8.3 kilograms with the yoke attached, and the build quality feels super premium. This light uses a BE mount, which is basically a Bowens mount with added electronic contacts and a locking lever. And these electronic connections let the light communicate with certain modifiers, like for example Nanlux's new motorized Fresnel. Now I haven't got one here yet, but I saw it at IBC, and you can then control the Fresnel focus from spot to flood directly from the light, from the buttons on the Fresnel itself, but also through DMX and even via the app. Again, here Nanlux is developing even more modifiers specifically for this electronic connection, but of course any other standard Bowens mount modifier will fit here as well. The mount also has this locking lever mechanism to really secure your modifiers in the best way possible. The Evoke 600C also has an adjustable yoke, so you can slide the light head forwards and backwards to balance it whichever way you might need to. Now there is something about these lights that I think people are going to be a little bit divided on. Both of the lights have an all-in-one design, and that means that there is no external ballast or control box. Just one head, one cable, and you're ready to go. So it's actually a super quick setup. And we'll talk about some other control options on these lights in just a second. Now these things are built to take a beating. Both the Evoke 150C and the Evoke 600C are rated IP66. Now just as a reminder, IP65 is protected against dust and particles at all levels, plus water jets. So it basically means you can leave your light out in the rain and it'll be fine. But IP66 is protected against strong water jets. So the next step up from this is actually being able to dunk the light in the water. And Nanlux is even calling these lights stormproof. The metal housings feel solid, the yokes are sturdy, and the build quality overall feels super premium, which is exactly what you'd expect from Nanlux's professional range. Now let's talk power. The Evoke 600C draws exactly 600 watts and the Evoke 150C draws exactly 150 watts. And it's cool that these numbers are accurate and say exactly what power the lights draw, which is not usually the case with other lights. Looking at the output of the Evoke 600C, you're getting 7,740 lux or 719 foot candle at 3 meters 5600 Kelvin with the 45-degree reflector attached. The Evoke 150C will give you 2,155 lux or 200 foot candle at 3 meters 5600 Kelvin with the 45-degree reflector attached. A great feature on both of these lights is that they can dim down incredibly low. And that fine level of control is something more and more lights are adding, and it's really welcome here as well. Like we saw before, these are all-in-one lights, so the main controls are on the back of the light itself. You can switch between the different light modes, adjust your settings, go through the menu and all that. However, there are a few other options to control the lights as well. The Evoke 600C comes standard with a wired controller, and this one is an optional purchase for the 150C. So if you've got this light rigged up high, you can still easily get access to the controls over this controller. It magnetically attaches to this clip on the yoke, and you've got all of the control functions like on the back of the light. So it's pretty cool to have such a compact little box to adjust all of your settings. You obviously also have DMX control on both of these lights. And lastly, the Nanlink app over Bluetooth for wireless control works excellent on both of these lights. I would say that this is probably the preferred way to remotely set these lights. So for anyone having concerns over these lights not having a ballast like we're kind of used to on other lights, you'll have no problem adjusting everything remotely. As far as pricing goes, the Evoke 600C is priced at $2,580 US. And the Evoke 150C is $864 US. Now this is definitely on the higher end, but I mean this is Nanlux's premium Evoke line, so you are getting their absolute best. Alright, so I feel like the more lights or the more filmmaking tech I look at, the harder it becomes for me to make recommendations, because there's just so much good stuff to choose from nowadays. But the Evoke 600C and 150C basically take all the things that were already great in the Evoke lineup and pushed it just a little bit further. You're getting outstanding color performance from that Nebula C8 engine, a massive 1000 to 20,000 Kelvin range, lots of control options packed into a really solid and durable all-in-one design that's pretty much ready for everything. So if you're looking for full color lights that can handle professional work but still fit into a smaller setup, these two should definitely be on your radar. Anyway, that's it for this one. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you have any questions, just drop them down in the comments. Alright, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!